Hello guys, thanks for joining us today. I have the IWI TS12 gauge shotgun. This is a gas regulated bullpup shotgun with an innovative design that feeds from one of 3 individual magazines, which can hold up to 4 3-inch shells in each one of these tubes for a total capacity of 13 rounds of your 3-inch shells, or if you wanted to load up your 2 3/4, it will hold 5 in each tube, which will give you 16 rounds of firepower capacity. Additional features on this gun include 4 sling attachment points, M-LOK compatible rails, a continuous accessory rail on top where you can see that I do have the Magpul flip up sights here, and also it does have your Benelli Beretta choke compatibility here on the end. And it does, of course, because we have had this at the range, it does have the reliability that you've come to expect with IWI, just like the 5.56 223 that we purchased and we've already done a review on. It was absolutely flawless at the range, just as that one was. Whenever I purchased that IWI 223 5.56, as versatile as it was, as accurate as it was, as much fun as we had at the range with that gun, I committed to mind that I was going to buy everything they had to offer before I died. So in my endeavor to do that, here we are. I purchased this. We have had this at the range. We did shoot it. It manages recoil very, very nicely, and it was completely flawless and very, very accurate. Again, this will shoot up to 3-inch shells. It is, of course, semi-automatic, tube fed, and these tubes will rotate either to the left or to the right with a simple depressing of a button here in front of your trigger. And it does take some getting used to, but as you'll see when we put the range video up, it doesn't take that long to get used to shooting it. And I think personally, with the mag-fed shotguns that we've had, semi-automatic shotguns that were very unreliable, had huge break-in periods, I think this is a way more reliable setup. No, it's not an inertia-driven system like your Benellis or your Berettas and your, I guess a lot of P. Gersons and folks like that are using today. It's more of a tube fed, except for you have these rotating tubes up front, 2-position gas regulator, short stroke gas piston. It is a barrel length. This is the most astounding thing about it, is it has a barrel length of 18.5 inches, which you would come accustomed to seeing in more full-size shotguns, but it only has an overall length of 28.3 inches. The height on this is 10.23 inches, and it weighs in at 9 pounds. Again, like I mentioned, it will accept the Beretta Benelli chokes. It does have reinforced polymer, and it does have a cross bolt safety that is very easy to manipulate here. It does have a trigger. The trigger is okay. The trigger is not great. It's a 12 gauge. I mean, I'm not a trigger snob. It's not the worst trigger. It's not the greatest trigger. But again, it does the job. The charging this can be completely swapped around, much like on the, now we don't do this on the video because maybe we'll do a separate video where we'll clean this thing and take it down and show you how to swap which side that it ejects from for your lefts and your righties. But we're not going to do that on this video because YouTube doesn't like that, and they won't monetize our video if we do a lot of takedown or tear down of the firearm. But you can swap this around to where it eject instead of ejecting from the right side, it'll eject from the left side. Obviously, you can move the charging handle over to, so in that sense, it's completely ambi. Good for Trey. Trey would love that. If he purchased this, he would be able to swap that around to where he wouldn't be getting a face full of GSR. That's a kind of a prelude to the range video. There's some funny things on the range video that you'll want to see when he was shooting this gun as fire was literally going into my man's mouth, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, as I mentioned, it does have these attachment points here all along the side. As you can see, I have my Streamlight TLR9 here. I am using this for home defense. I kind of cut up an old Uncle Mike shell holder here. I kind of cut it up and I put some two-sided Velcro here on the side and kind of homemade my own shell holder here, if you will. So that is not something that I purchased. I think you can purchase something like this for this gun, but hey man, this worked out just fine for me. I did have a single point sling on here, and it fell very nicely down in front of me. And again, like I said, I do have these Magpul sights, these flip-up sights up here. And as I said, we have had it at the range. It was flawless at the range, and in as much as I want to take this thing down in order to show you how easy it is to pull everything out of the back here and clean this thing, it comes apart in quite a few different parts. But again, it's very easy to take down, very easy to put back together. There's some things in here that are spring loaded, which makes it a little bit difficult to kind of do on camera. But again, I have had a multitude of semi-automatic mag-fed shotguns that were just not reliable. And the only way you can get this kind of capacity, and even then you still can't reach this kind of capacity on your typical semi-automatic tube-fed shotguns, is to buy an extender, a magazine or tube extender. And even then you're only getting 10, maybe 11, 12 rounds. You're not getting 16. So I just, you know, I got fed up with the mag-fed shotguns, never could get any, even after the break-in period. But as expected from IWI, this thing was completely flawless. I think it comes in like an OD green, of course, in all black, and I have it here in the FDE, which I'm a huge fan of. A huge fan of this rail that goes all the way across the top here. And there's no doubt in my mind that I've left some things out. I just kind of wanted to get this tabletop up here for you guys, tell you a little bit about it, a little bit about how it works. Again, you rotate the tubes here. You can rotate them to the left, you can rotate them to the right, and you do that with this little button in the front of the trigger here. And we had no issues with getting it to feed 100% reliable at the range. And the MSRP on this was about $13.99. I think that's IWI's MSRP. I didn't pay that. I think I paid somewhere, I was out of state when I purchased this, and I believe I paid somewhere in the neighborhood of about $1,099, around $1,100, which I believe is a tremendous value, because I pay $700, $800, $900 for semi-automatic tube-fed shotguns or mag-fed shotguns. It's nowhere near as reliable or as accurate or as fun, just absolute fun to shoot at the range as this thing was. So again, if we left anything out, if you own this, if you know something about it, you can tell us. We're always open to learning. We always get back with you. We love to hear from you. Please comment, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, tell your friends, hit your alerts so you know when we put the range video up on this thing. And again, we appreciate you guys watching. Also, go check us out on Rumble, as we're putting all of our content on over there too. Make sure you follow us on Rumble. Hit the link down at the bottom of the page. Again, you guys have a blessed day, and thank you.